Okay, welcome back, everyone. We're looking forward to this next session that we're about to do, training that's being presented by a team of individuals that work on a project of peace, which is called the Common Room. So you heard from Dougie earlier. We've also got two other individuals who will be joining Dougie for this session on training us on how to create content for social media. Doug is going to be joined by Denise and Natalie. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hand over to that team. Really looking forward to what you'll be presenting and hearing what you'll be doing and what you've been doing with the Common Room so far. So I'll hand over to Dougie, Denise, and Natalie right now.
Thanks, Greg.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. So as Craig was saying, we're part of a peace initiative. Myself, Douglas, I'm from the UK, up north. Denise.
Yeah, hi guys, my name is Denise. I'm also from up north, probably an hour away from Douglas. I'm 23 years old and I do content creating / multimedia as well in our ministry, Common Room, and yeah.
I like the whole bio there. I'm Natalie, also from the north, probably about 30 minutes from Douglas and 40 minutes from Denise. But obviously we can't see each other because we're in quarantine, so it's one of those things. But yeah, I'm a part of the Common Room and really enjoying just content creating and yeah, being a part of the team.
So we're going to go through our slide stage. Denise, I think, will be sharing the slides for us. So basically, we'll be going through a little bit about the Common Room, what we do, how we start, a little bit about how we started, who we are, and then we'll kind of go into how to make content, because as you've probably seen from Deep and TikTok as well with Naomi, that the content is very important, and we're going through a little bit about that after the first section, about how to make content. So, the Common Room, and ultimately, our focus is digital connections, tangible friendships. As I've seen with the different other platforms that we're online. But how do we go from having friends online who we meet, who may be around the world, who meet on there, or in the UK even, to tangible friendships where we have a relationship with the person? Well, as a Common Room, as the name has, that's what we want to do. You think about it like university, a Common Room is a place where everyone from different walks of life can come and just have conversation, meet, talk, just grow with each other. So for us, we want to take from digital to tangible friendships. That's ultimately our aim to do that. So what and where, what is the Common Room and where is it? Well, as Craig mentioned in the beginning, we are an online project from Peace. Myself, Denise, and Natalie, and Jehan was with us before. We came from Peace, and this was started off through Peace. And we basically wanted to make a place for young people to meet and to get to know each other, hence the name, the Common Room. And basically go through difficult things and questions and things that we go through in life, and to talk about these things. A common room where we can talk freely and openly about things that we don't talk about in church, especially. So you see in some of our programs, especially our Let's Be Real ones, we've had tackle sessions like Let's Be Real about pornography, Let's Be Real about masturbation, Let's Be Real about not growing up with a father and mother, different things like that. We're talking about real things that we don't, or the environment maybe in church is not inducive of. And by doing so, we're hoping to bring people to know who God is, and to have a relationship with not only ourselves, but ultimately with God. And we do this through different platforms, mainly Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So all of our videos will be on Facebook as well, but also on YouTube. So definitely check us out, thecommonroom.hub. all on there. Those are our major platforms that we use to reach that and to basically do what our aim is to do. So, well, why and how? We believe that we can reach people who are on social media. As I've seen throughout the different presentations, the youth are online. That is where they are. And we want to introduce them to Christ. We want to be able to share with them the gospel so that they can ultimately have an experience of him. And we do this, we've seen the power of this and doing this through us, myself, Natalie, Denise, and everyone who mingles with us. We talk to them, we share with them. We are open about what we go through because it's a common room. We're here to help each other. And by doing that, we're sharing the gospel online. Again, building tangible friendships from digital relationships. And that's our aim. And ultimately, we want to create an online space, a platform which we believe we'll have, and we're still growing on that, where people can come together, build relationships, and grow. So, for example, we have evidence sessions, which evidence focuses on testimonies. What have you been through? Whether you've been on a mission trip, how was that? Maybe you grew up with that. How do you come to Christ? Different things like that. Let's Be Real is talking about real topics, which we don't really discuss. And then we have a Thursday, the last Thursday of each month, the Common Room Connect, where we don't talk about really, just about real topics. We're not really sharing our experiences. We're just there to get to know each other, to have fun, to play some games, and to get to know each other on a friendly basis. So as you can see, just the emphasis and the importance of what we are a common room. In all the different aspects that we do, our name goes in hand with what we do. And that's so important for us, as we've seen through other ministries too. And that's how we do it, through various programs. So far we're doing Let's Be Real, Evidence, and the Common Room Connect. So the Let's Be Real was the first Thursday of each month, Evidence second Thursday of each month, and the Common Room is the last Thursday each month, 6 p.m. And that's how we do it. But ultimately, that's the crux. The Common Room, what, when, how, when, is how we do it. And everything's tied in to those things. Everything we do is from that basis of trying to reach people online and have tangible relationships through that. So how do you function? Basically looking at how do you kind of manage your ministry? How do you kind of go through that? It's myself and Natalie, Denise, and also Craig is the peace director, because we came from peace. And ultimately, this is so key. Maybe think of running a ministry or starting up something. Who is part of your team? Who is part of your team? Because that's so key. Myself, Natalie, and Denise, we work together very closely. We're good friends, but we work together very closely in different things. And because of that, we're able to, the common room functions because of our relationship, if that makes sense. So let's say you're thinking about having a ministry, running a ministry, the important question to have is, who do you have on? Not just having people on for sake of having people on, but how do you function? And the next slide, we'll kind of go into a bit more depth about that. Who do you have on your team? What areas need to be covered? For example, Denise does content creating and multimedia. So they focus on those things. I don't necessarily focus too much on that, but I do help, and they teach me different things. But because we know our areas and what we do and we don't do, meetings come and we know what we're doing. I know Denise will make the posters. I know Natalie will make the posters and make sure it gets out there. Each person knows. So if you have a ministry, wants to have a ministry, having kind of sections and could say departments, with people who know what they're doing and they're passionate about that. And for us, what's very important for us is that all of us, myself, Denise, and even Craig too, all of us here are also digital evangelists in a sense, because digital disciples, I should say, because we all have a passion for reaching people online. On my platform, on Denise's platform, on Craig's, and also Natalie, that's important, because if someone was to come on our team, and we want them also to be able to have a presence online, and that's key. We don't just bring anyone on to some degree just because to kind of fill numbers, but because they're part of the journey, they're part of the process, they're part of your vision and your goal. So ourselves, it's very important for us to have that, and because we have a relationship, it kind of helps. It really helps with that. And we'll kind of go into that and kind of looking how to function, how to kind of manage a ministry in there. So now how we function and planning. Planning is so key. Everything we plan, you could say what's happening around the world. Next March is Mother's Day. Last month it was Valentine's Day. So when we plan and do things like that, we have to make sure that, well, as best as we can, that our programs are fitting into certain dates, because we're going to get much more engagement in those things. So when you plan and think about things, look what's happening around the world, and we have to do that all the time, because certain topics that we do. Last month we have homosexuality, because that tied in with relationships and in that area. But at the same time, always have a backup, because there's sometimes where you have this topic, but then for this topic, who can you find? Maybe you can't do it. Who can you find? And making sure that they have the correct information, they know what's happening, and you give them a layout. So for this example, you're coming on to Let's Be Real, and we'll give you a layout. This is what we're going to talk about. Here are the questions. And we go from there. So think about that. Let people know what you're going to be doing, what's happening in the world, the hot topics, what will you do, have a backup, and planning is so key. Everything we do on social media and our content, again, is linked to our vision and our mission. And everything we do is linked into that. It's very important. But also in the meetings you plan and you're planning, but then for example, myself, I've got to make sure that, okay, what are we talking about this meeting? We usually meet every Tuesday. What are we talking about? What's going to be covered? What needs to be covered? What does need to be covered? Because once you do that, it kind of helps you make sure that you've got maybe months or a year ahead and plan. You've got some sort of plan. It doesn't have to be concrete, but as you have a plan and you plan your meetings and what's going to be talking on the agenda, what happens is then you're able to it's less stress on yourselves. If we don't plan, it's hectic. We've got to think on the spot and things like that. But the more you plan, it doesn't have to be concrete, but at least you have some sort of vision, things you want to cover based upon what's going on around the world, different topics. But also we find that, like I said, me, Denise, and Natalie work well together. And our environment in our meetings is so key. And our environment in our meetings is so key because that enables us to have ideas and also not have ideas. So for example, I know sometimes I'm like, yeah, guys, let's do this crazy program, which I think is great, but I don't actually think about what some of the implications of doing that program is. But because me, Denise, and Natalie have a relationship, and we'll have an environment of be able to freely express, Denise and Natalie will say, no. Think about this. And I'm like, oh, that's true. Never mind, actually. So when you have a ministry or set up a ministry of different people, think about the atmosphere that you're creating, because it has to be one where you can express ideas. I know if I don't say something that's not right, I know Natalie and Denise will say, no, let's rethink that, because of your environment. If you have the right people around you and you create an environment, what it does is it helps you create an environment where people are not just saying yes to you because yes. They're able to express, they're able to say ideas. All of us here have come up with all different types of things that we're doing as a ministry right now because of that environment. So as you think about ministry and you have your vision, you plan and you pray and you bring people together, what environment do you have? And that will really help and shape where your ministry goes, and that's very important as you do that. And for us, by God's grace, we've been able to do that, and we're carrying on to do that. But also at the same time, we also have to be on our toes, because there's many things that change and shift And by being on our toes and having a team that's always willing to help and do things, that helps the ministry runs more smoothly, and for us to do what we need to do and ultimately reach our vision and our mission. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna hand over to Anna and Denise, and they'll be going through how to actually content create. We just looked at the functions of the ministry, but Anna and Denise will go through how to actually create content for social media.
Thanks, Doug. So we're going to look at social media promotion and content creation. So just some of the things that we're going to highlight is branding, which Craig was talking about earlier, actually, content creating and interactive posts. So to start with, branding, why is it important? Branding is a way of distinguishing your ministry from the others. If people can view your content and instantly know that it's yours, then you have a strong brand. And keys to a good brand, or how to create a brand. Number 1, know your target audience. Number 2, have a mission statement. Number 3, choose your name for your ministry. Number 4, create a logo. Number 5, decide on a color scheme. And all this would come into play in your content as well. And I think Denise is going to touch on that later as well. And ways to share your content. I know other people have spoken about TikTok and YouTube, which is awesome. So depending on your ministry and your mission statement, you should be able to decide, sorry about that error, you should be able to decide on the best platforms to share your content. So it could be Facebook, could be YouTube. I know Doug spoke about this earlier as well. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, even Pinterest, Snapchat. It could even just be sending out a mailing list. Yeah, it really is up to you. But whatever works best for you, whatever fits into your ministry best, then we suggest using that. So how to create content. There's many different ways to create content. For those who have Adobe apps, such as Photoshop or Illustrator, and you know how to use them, then those are great. But now you have to pay for them and they're quite expensive. So I don't know about you guys, but some of us don't have that kind of cash. So a simple, and it can also be free, a thing that we use is CANVA, which is also what we created this slide on. There's so many different things you can do on Canva. So if you're not a Photoshop or Illustrator person, Canva is a really good shout. There's also many different content creating sites. So if you want to look into them, that's also something we suggest. But we just know that Canva works well for us because we all know how to use it. So a step-by-step would be to open up canva.com and create a login. You don't have to create a login, but if you don't, then your creations won't be saved anywhere. So if you create a login, no matter what you do, your creations will always be saved, which is awesome. Then you can search for a template. So if you want a Instagram story template, if you want a YouTube banner template, if you want a presentation template, Canva basically has it all. You can also search for the kind of thing that you're looking for. So if you want a games night poster, if you type in games night, that will come up. If you type in friendship, something will come up. If you type in food, something will come up. Or not even something, a lot of things will come up. And you can just literally replace the text that it gives you, and also you can replace the photo. If there's a photo there, you can add in your own photos and also videos. You can change the fonts, the size, the colors, the text, and there's also like Canva elements, so shapes, such as like these shapes here, or also the little images that you've seen on each slide. There's things like that, little animated animations, or illustrations that you can use. And also then once you've finished your designs, you can download them in pretty much any template really. So if you need an MP4 video, you can do that. If you need a JPEG or PNG, you can do that. PDF, you can do that. There's a little video just to go through basically what we've just typed out. So I think that's the worst part about Canva. There's just so many templates and a lot of them are great. So going through them all is like, I don't know about Denise or Doug, but I open up maybe 3 different templates. As soon as Doug is like, guys, can we have a poster for this? I open up 3 different templates and make 3 different versions most of the time. And then I'm like, which one do I like best? If you don't have that kind of time, I mean, I don't have that kind of time. I don't know why I do it, but if you don't have it, don't don't do it. But yeah, it's a very kind of simple way to create content, and you don't have to do it from scratch because it's already giving you a nice template. That was a really sped up video, so if you didn't see anything, I'm sorry. So some tips or some pros for Canva. So there's, like I said, a really wide range of designs and templates. And also you can share these with other people, and you can also have a team where you can basically work on things together. So me, Denise, and Doug have a TCR team, the common room team. So there's things that we can work on together. So for example, this presentation, we're all involved in it. So they can edit what I do, I can edit what they do, and we can all see who's editing it at the same time. They didn't edit my spelling errors, but that's not their fault. It's a really simple and speedy way to create content. Like we said, you really don't have to do that much. It sounds like we're cheating. It almost feels like we're cheating, but you really don't have to do that much with Canva. If you want to create one from scratch, if you're a designer or if you're someone who just wants, you have a vision and you're not seeing it in any of the templates, you can also do that. You can create a blank one and just add all the elements or the photos or the colors or the text that you want, which is also amazing as well. Canva is also free to use. Canva Pro is $10.99 a month. If you want to use it, there are benefits of it, a lot of benefits. One of them is you can export a picture with a transparent background. If you have the free version, you can't do that. It will always come up with a white background. There's a lot of videos. So with the free one, some videos and some photos will be locked, so you can't use them. Or if you try and add them, it will come up with like a watermark. But if you have the Pro, you can use them as much as you want. I think Denise and Doug have the Pro. And I've been able to edit Denise's Pro stuff, but I have the free one because I always say to them, anything that you guys can do on Pro, I can do on on the free version. So yeah, it's really up to you. Like some people really want to pay for it, but personally I don't. But it's up to you. And then just some tips on what to add. So for example, if you are having an event, so as Doug said, we let's be real sessions, we have evidence, and we also have a common room connect. So when getting out these posters, sometimes it's been trial and error, we'll be honest, because sometimes sometimes my head's just like, I go into autopilot, but then if you go into autopilot, you make simple mistakes. So sometimes you'll send out a poster or something like that, or an Instagram post with your event title and things like that. You've got the Zoom ID, but nobody knows what time it is. Or you send it out, but there's no Zoom ID. So just some things to be aware of. Make sure that the date and time are on the poster. Otherwise, people have no idea when this is going to take place. And it might be such an amazing event, but nobody knows when it is. And if you're thinking, why is nobody come? It's because nobody has any idea, like, when it is, sorry. Make sure that you include the location. Now with COVID and everything, everything is basically online. So yeah, Zoom ID, is it YouTube Live? Is it Facebook Live? Like, make sure to let people know where they can find it. And also have a good event title. If the title doesn't explain what is happening, what the event is about, because it might be a really amazing title, but if nobody knows what it is, then it's kind of like, yeah, I think Denise said flop. So yeah, it's kind of like, it's not that great if nobody knows what it is, because nobody wants to join something that is like, but what is it? So if your title is a really cool title, but nobody knows what it is, just make sure you have something that explains what this actually is. But again, these are things that we learned the hard way, or personally, I've learned the hard way. So over to you, Den.
Yeah, thanks, Nat. So with just going off with Natalie's point as well, it's definitely a must where you have a team, or if you don't have a team and you're by yourself, not autocorrect, kind of proofread everything before you send, because you might have, a few mistakes here and there. You probably added an extra I when inconsistent or something. So definitely something that you need to do before getting your stuff out there. Definitely us as Common Room, we have made the mistake. So just a pro tip, learning from our own lessons. So that is also one of our tips. And on this point as well, consistency is key. Being consistent with your post is key for more engagement. This day and age, social media has got a lot of, I don't know if you have heard about aesthetics, have heard about, templates and stuff. So aesthetics is what is trending at the moment on social medias, and having that aesthetically pleasing social media can attract more engagement as well as more followers as well, if you're up to that. So definitely think about how you want your content to look like. Your, like Natalie said, your colors, your fonts, your logo, your layout, and definitely investing on this will help get your contents out there, and also your ministry to be reached, to go into different places that or to different accounts and users that not in your kind of circle, if that makes sense. So next slide, please, Nat.
I was actually just gonna say on what you said at the beginning of making, like, just check things again. Just a quick little funny story. I think there was one poster that it was January, and I was supposed to put January, but I think I put June or July, and it was just like little errors like that you can't, like, it could have been helped if you just check it again. And Denise was just like, nah, it's not July, like, it's January. And I was like, oh my days. So yeah, just make sure you check things twice.
So yeah, that goes with the point of consistency as well. So talking about consistency, there is a bunch of layouts out there. There's a type of Instagram layouts on for Instagram, for I don't know about Facebook. Facebook is literally just an all out basis, or you can type wherever you want. But with picture based social medias, having a layout will definitely help to with your consistency, and also help your account to have your message to go across to your key audience, and also those that are outside of your key audience, but also likes your type of content and type of layout. So here is just a bunch, or just a few of Instagram layouts that you could follow when you want to create your content, whether it's personal or for your ministry. The first one is simple. I actually have 9 Insta layouts. So if you guys want, to message more about the layouts and stuff, feel free to message me after or connect with us in Common Room. I've only just put 4 because of time. So the first one is simple. That's where we probably I used to do that when on my Instagram, and most of us probably do. We'll just post whatever we post and whatever we like. So that's just a simple and kind of random. And the second one is line in the middle. So line in the middle is where you have a consistent theme in the middle, or probably on the side or left or right, but it has to have kind of the same background. So for instance, this one has quotes. So all of your middle post on Instagram should definitely be just quotes of some sort, or even simple things without the picture with it. So and the second one is tiles. Tiles is basically, as you can see, like if Natalie could just point through the things. So it's basically like a diagonal kind of situation going on. So what she did there on her Instagram account is that every 3 grid is different. So she shifts it every time. So I hope that I'm explaining that right. So the first block, for example, the first line could be picture, quote, picture, and then the second one will be quote, picture, quote, and then so is the top one, picture, quote, picture. So that's just the tile layout. The second one is row by row. I've seen a lot of Instagram accounts with a row by row layout, and I think it's quite popular with Instagram accounts. Actually, tiles and row by row layouts are quite popular at the moment. So they are basically just row of pictures, and then the next post will be just a row of quotes, and then so on and so forth. So next slide is that. And then just for people who are going on Canva, like Natalie said, I have the Canva Pro going off in that as well. Like I said earlier, investing into something that you're really passionate about is key into getting that consistency and getting that getting your ministry across, as well as like I said earlier, consistency is key for more engagement. So I have the Canva Pro, and it literally gives you so much freedom of everything that you want. You have free pictures there without any watermarks. You have videos as well without watermarks. You have more of freedom on how to use your elements and whatnot. And also they give you a bit of extra folders, so you can go off different sites like Pixel. I'll talk about Pixel later on. And also Unsplash, they get you on that. They have charts, everything. So definitely, if you're thinking about creating your own ministry, and even just sprucing up your personal account, definitely think about investing about your content creating stuff. So if I can just literally quickly share my screen, I don't know if I can do this now. Yeah, I can. So you don't have to, there you go. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you guys see this? So going off on how to create Canva technique with the brand kit that they have. So this is the home page that I have at the moment. Brand kit is literally just there. Brand kit is basically if you have already thought about what color you want, if you have already a logo that you have already created, and also the font that you are thinking to have, then brand kit is definitely one of the most helpful content creating because it makes it go faster when you create content. So we have here the common room logo. It's pixelated because it's a transparent background. Also the communication department leader on our My Church, so I have this as well. But definitely just add logo, and then something will pop up. Obviously, the download section. Oopsies. So definitely just upload your brand logos, and then here you can create your brand colors. So like I said earlier, if you've already thought about your colors of how you want your post to look like, you can customize colors here, and it will literally just add that. The common room, we use this color palettes, so, and also the brand fonts. So we use Selima. We also use permanent marker for Let's Be Real, and also for the evidence we use Oswald. And so I was just want to show you guys how you create quick content using the brand kit option. So if you go to recommended for you, and let's say I want to create an Instagram post, you can look for a template that you want. Hopefully it loads a bit quicker and we don't have any technical difficulties. So if you haven't thought about any template that you want to use, Canva has loads of that, like Natalie said as well. So for example, recently used, for example, I want to create something or promote something using, like, for example, I want to promote on my on our the Common Room website about the Common Room Connect. So I'll just use that template, and then I will go into styles, and everything will go there. So with brand kit, everything will appear there. So you literally just click that, and your font and everything will go straight there. You could customize it however you want, but you don't have to toggle on the font section to save time. Your colors as well, your color palette is already there. So this is what, like, the fun fact about this as well, and the fun thing about Canva is that you can just click and it automatically shuffles for you. So I just click how many colors I want. That's where we use how I content create, and so on and so forth. So definitely something to think about if you want to. Oops, Natalie, can you share that as well, please? Thank you. So yeah, just that's how you create, or you use brand kit on Canva. I've seen questions in here, so I'll answer that after the end. So keep the questions coming, and we will answer it while when we finish. Next slide, please, Natalie. So content making tips is just some of the resources I use personally when making contents. postermywall.com is definitely one of my go-to poster or content creating if I'm going on, like if I'm promoting something for my church. So basically you can type in on that search bar, say for example church, and all of these all of the posters for your church or this poster examples will literally pop up everywhere, and then you can just edit out the words and all that bunch of stuff in there as well. But definitely postermywall.com is one of my go-to when I'm making a church poster, and also different posters as well. It's free, I believe, and you can use your Facebook to log in, and it syncs straight into your Facebook. And also Etsy. If you are familiar with Etsy, definitely search, like I said earlier, if you're planning to have it straight away, definitely invest on your brand or your ministry. So if you click on Etsy and type in Instagram template, it's going to be pre-made for you. You just need to put your pictures on it, and everything is created up for you in the same color and everything. So search that. They also have Instagram highlight covers. So that's just some of the prices in there. The cheapest that I've found was £2 something. And also talking about unsplash.com as well, and pixel.com. Unsplash is a website where you can get royalty-free pictures that photographers and videographers literally just dump in there, and they don't have kind of what do you call this, plagiarism. So they can't sue you for anything because that's like a royalty-free website. So you can search all the content that is relevant to your ministry or to your personal account, and just give them a shout out on Instagram as well. So that's unsplash.com, where pictures and videos, and pixels is mainly pictures. Next one, I believe, is for, I'll hand it over to Natalie. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer that after the presentation.
Yeah, I think this is our last slide, to be honest. So just a quick thing on interactive posts. So I think the ministry spoke about it today also. So the way that you interact with people through social media should reflect your mission statement. So you can create your design on Canva to use for posts, for stories, for reels, etc. So one of the things that we wanted to do, like insight, if you have any prayer requests, so you can abuse on Instagram, like the question sticker, the poll sticker, quiz sticker, slider sticker, like all the stickers that are interactive. You can definitely just use them because that is a way to interact with people. Sometimes just scrolling through people is great, but getting people's opinions, getting people's prayer requests, getting just getting people involved is also great. Reels, that's something that many people are like interested in and watching. Sometimes people get bored of long videos, so it's just like 15-second videos is the new thing right now. So just trying to get involved in reels. Obviously, if it doesn't really work for your ministry, then it's fine, but if that works, then yeah. IGTV, so we started posting some highlights from our Let's Be Real sessions and our evidence sessions, just some things that were said that was like, rah, that was deep. So we just kind of put into a little video. Also sharing other people's posts. So some guests that we've had on the common room. So maybe they've written a blog, or maybe they've done a video, or maybe they've shared a post, and like just sharing that on our page as well. Asking for topic suggestions, because obviously it's let's be real and we're the only ones thinking of the topics. They might be real to us, but it may not be real to others. So just getting their opinion. And yeah, I guess artwork. When we were at Peace, one of the things that we said that we would do is like involve photography, videography, and art. And I love art personally. So as you can see, Denise has just turned her camera off, but you can see on her picture. So I did the artwork for the common room. So just being able to like use your talents or your gifts in your ministry really helps. And sometimes it's kind of freaky because you're like, oh, I don't think I'm that good at this. Like, why? Like, it might just flop. But I think Douglas was saying about having a team that kind of supports you and also tells you the truth. So if the team don't like it, then that's totally fine. But if they do like it, then it's like, yeah, let's use this. So yeah, just getting your, I guess, followers involved, and because we're trying to make tangible friendships, then just having that in mind, like how can we reach out to people? And I think there's a couple of topics that we threw out questions. So for example, anxiety and depression, we asked if anyone has ever experienced it, or anyone knows anyone who's experienced anxiety or depression, and so many people came back to us and said yeah. So it's like, then we asked another question following on from that, and then we're able to reach out to these individuals one-to-one and asked if there's any questions that they wanted us to bring forward to the panel, because we had a counselor on there. So yeah, if you're collecting their questions as well, just ensure that you actually follow through with it. So it's not just like, oh, we've heard your question, but we don't really care, if that makes sense. So yeah. And that, yeah, if you want to contact us, thecommonroom.hub on Instagram, basically the same. Email, YouTube, and Facebook. Trying to be consistent. And yeah, that's basically us. And we are happy to take any questions or anything like that. Feels really weird to say that, but
yeah. So I think I've just I have a few questions as well coming from the chat section. I'm reading through. Oh, thank you, Chantal, for pointing out. Yes, time zone on it, on the posters is definitely a must as well. For example, PST, that's I think Pacific time. Yeah. GMT, something we forget to do. Yeah, that's right. But great point, Shan. Thank you. Isela asked, where can you create a logo? The beauty of CANVA as well. I am literally like representing CANVA. I'm not paid, but I know. But CANVA also has an option where you can create your logo in there. They have a bunch of pre-made logos that you can go off on, but definitely CANVA has one as well. I'm not sure if you have to have a pro account for that, but with the basic ones, I think you can go off with just a I think just with the free account. So also, is the brand kit feature available on free version? I have not tried it with the free version. I think Nat can answer that question actually. But
I can answer that and say no, because I've never seen the brand thing in my life, and that kind of sold it. And I was like, maybe paying for it is a shout, but I'm still gonna stick by my guns and not do that. But yeah, no, the brand.
Well, yeah, there you go. Your answer. That's answered. So I think just for the Pro, Canva Pro, having that blanket feature is really helpful if you're literally want to post something on the go. So 10 minutes you can create content using that blanket. Unsplash, yes, it's free. The the pictures in there are free, but if you want to give a shout out to those that have took the pictures or took the videos, you can do that on your social media accounts. But the beauty of Unsplash and Pixel is literally they're royalty free, so you don't get sued basically for copying their pictures. So that's what I love about both of them.
If you want you can.
Yeah, if you want to. So David as well, thank you for asking your questions. Is it always true that when it comes to content, quantity beats quality, since the algorithm prefers you posting often to keep people engaged? In my opinion, both I think be should always be in mind with, when you want to create content, because quantity, you don't really have to post quite a lot, but your quality of your content definitely needs to be, in not so much in top shape. I'll just have to say that, so that you can the content's there, the information is there, so you can keep that communication and your relationship with your audience flowing as well. So I hope I've answered your question.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, please.
I really do agree with what you said though, because sometimes we focus so much on getting it right and the layout has to be perfect and this and that and this, and then by the end of it we've got nothing out. So like, do what you can, and it will grow, and hopefully it will just get better. The more you do it, the more used to it you'll be. I think at the start it took us so long to create content, and we were like, oh, this is taking so much time. And then now it's like, someone someone's like, oh, can we get a poster out? And in the next 10 minutes you're just like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like it just get a lot quicker and easier the more you've done it. But don't let perfectionism and like it has to look immaculate, don't let that hold you back from actually posting something.
Yeah, definitely. So, if you have great content, definitely just post it out there. Someone out there would share your content, would see your content. So it doesn't matter if you're not a professional. Definitely, me and Natalie are not, but we learn along the way. So, yeah, definitely that's a must. Is there a list? Also, there's a bunch of questions here. Thank you, guys. Is there a list of resources? I do have a list of resources, but but if you want to get a list of that, definitely message the common room and I will send it to you there. One also, have you ever used the Fiverr.com or any digital service from freelancers? This is my first time hearing about Fiverr.com, so it'll be really nice as well, David, if you want to message us and talk about that as well. Definitely would want to. Well, I would want to be interested in that as well. What software did you use to create presentation? We use the one and only Canva. So Canva has a lot of things. You can print the t-shirt there, you can create logos, you can create presentation, you can create your posters, flyers, brochures, everything in there. Canva is a place to go to. I swear I need to get paid for this. What role does storytelling play for your content creations? I think Natalie can answer that better.
I was gonna say, I think for us, we don't really do storytelling. But I think because of our kind of not brief. I just spoke about this and now the word's gone out of my head. But like because of our vision, I guess storytelling is not our focus. But if your focus is storytelling, then I would say it definitely plays a big part in it. So yeah, I don't know, Denise, if you want to add.
Yeah. Um, storytelling makes you connect with your audience better. I mean, or not better, but more actually, because it tells about you, the creator. It tells more about, you know, how you're passionate about what you're creating, and so on and so forth. So if your account, or if your personal account, if your ministry is has that kind of mission statement, or is in your mission statement, definitely storytelling is one thing, a big role for your content creation. And just, we have 5 minutes, I think. So just to wrap it up, I just want to share a few Bible verse that I personally go off on, because it just shows how God asks us, or inspires us, or tells us to, you know, give what you can to the master, and use whatever talent it is that you have, or that God has given you to reach those souls, especially during this pandemic, where everything is on digital spaces now. So two verses. One is 2 Timothy 2 verse 15. It says, "Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth." And the second one is 1 Peter 4 verse 10. "As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace." We are, you know, called upon to minister to others, to share what we have learned to others as well, and that's the gospel of Christ. And you know, definitely use what you have. It doesn't have to be perfect. I for sure started doing content. My personal Instagram is not perfect in whatsoever, but I believe that getting your content out there is one step away, or one step forward on reaching others as well through your social media. So yeah, I hope that helps everyone. And if Natalie don't have anything to say, that's the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening, and thank you for participating as well, and for your questions.
Thank you for joining us.
I want to say thank you. Thank you very much, Natalie, Denise, and Dougie. Powerful presentation. I have to say thank you.
Thank you.
I know that people have been blessed by what you presented. You can tell by the comments, people saying it's been very useful. I did not know that CANVA had that branding.
I think it's me to blame that I've not shared it, but that's if you have Canva Pro, I've literally joined that together. Canva, wow, that's a new word. Yeah, it's a very handy dandy tool to use.
Fantastic, man. Definitely. So if you want branding on Canva, you need the pro version, if I'm correct.
That's it.
Definitely. Well, of course, and you know, your work on the common room, it's always appreciated. For those of you that saw the posters, the Instagram flyers that we sent out, the Instagram story flyers that we sent out for this weekend, it was all designed by Natalie and Denise. So again, I want to say thank you to you both. I know, Natalie, you've been humble by saying, Denise, look, it was the both of you. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your tireless efforts, especially with the common room. Weekly, you're putting in what you can, and we're seeing the effect of it. So again, thank you very much. And I don't think there are any more questions. So yeah, as Isela said, the takeaway is get Canva Pro.
Definitely.
Anything you can do on Canva Pro, you can do on Canva Free.
Not quite, but definitely get a team, one that has Canva Pro and one that has Canva Free version.
Yeah.
Thank you very much again, ladies. Dougie, I know Dougie's gone to get ready for Bible study, but thank you, the Common Room team. And
Jayhan is here.
oh, and Jayhan, yeah, Jayhan.
Sorry, she's here. Hi, Jay.
Good to see your message that you've typed.
Jayhan is also a common room.
Yeah, Jayhan's Common Room, even though that she's gone over to Weimar, we still see her as a Common Room, the Common Room member. So Jayhan, just want to say shout out to you as well. You did an excellent job on the team too, and you're continuing to do an excellent job with the Insight blog. So we hope you will go from strength to strength as well.
Amen.
But yeah, definitely the Common Room. All of this is produced just so it can meet the vision and the mission of turning those digital connections into tangible friendships. We hope for that day when we come out of this lockdown. Until then, let's just say a word of prayer, and then I'll tell you what's coming up next. Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for the privilege just to see how you use all of these different ministries, the skills that they've gained have been gained so that we can teach each other, so that we can help each other, so that we can go from strength to strength, preaching a message. Father, the pandemic nearly caught us, well, it did catch us off guard, but because of our desire to reach out in the digital community, we were ready, Lord, to go online. And I pray that in the midst of that, we've learned so many skills. And that's why we're doing this day for you, with you, Lord, to simply train your people to know how to use these tools to reach other people. I thank you for your loving kindness, for your mercy, and I pray that you will be with the team, the Common Room team, Dougie, Natalie, and Denise. And I know be with Jayhan while she's there in Weimar as well. I pray that you be with us with all of the work that we have to do. In Jesus' precious name we say, amen.